Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I, Shivansh Bansal, co-founder at Law Community, welcome you all on Lawyers Speak. And today we have Aashna Suri. She's an experienced legal associate with demonstrated history of working in the legal service industry. She is skilled in litigation, legal affairs, legal writing, a strong legal professional with bachelor's of law degree, and we are here to know more about her journey and learn from her. So my first question is, what was your thought process on doing law after your bachelor's degree?
If I tell you, I always wanted to be a lawyer. I always wanted to be one because my bua's husband, my uncle, is also an advocate. So since childhood, I always used to see him as an advocate presenting, and so always he was so ready always that I used to adore his personality. And this was the reason he motivated me, inspired me to be a person like him, the way he always helped people, not always like being asking them for charges. He did many cases pro bono as well. So that's what inspired me. So I always wanted to be a lawyer, but my family, like generally people do think, parents do think that if you are a girl, they say तुम्हारी शादी नहीं होती अगर तुम लॉ करते हो. लड़के नहीं मानते क्योंकि लड़कियां जबान चलाती हैं, ऐसा उन्हें लगता है अगर लॉ कर लेती हैं. So this was the reason my family never agreed to it. But when my uncle's daughter pursued law, then I was able to ask my family, like, his daughter is also doing law, so now I am also a girl, so please. So after my graduation was the time when I could convince them finally. So it's better late than never. That would I would say.
Since it was a different field than your bachelor's,
Yes. Rather altogether different.
yeah, yeah. So did you
Yes.
find difficulty in understanding law, and how was your law school experience?
If I tell you the difficulty in understanding, it was very different because it's very practical experience in my BSc. I did BSc in food and nutrition to be precise. So in that field, we had to do various cooking and then measuring the quantities and doing other things and making the diet plans. And it is altogether different into a law field in drafting all time writing. That is calculating, and here it is writing. So it's altogether different. But it was my passion, so I had to do it because I always wanted to. So it was a very new experience for me, very exciting and very much learning, because at some point of time I had a stage fear that I could not stand in front and say anything I wanted to. But this my law school helped me in gaining the experience and gaining the confidence to overcome my stage fear and many other fears, and made me a good lawyer, which I am right now. Like, I won't say that I'm a very good lawyer, but at every age, every point, one is learning and one is growing. So I can say that now I'm growing, and when one is growing, it's good, and one should never stagnate, that I would say.
So you have done your diploma in international environment law and government.
Yes.
What led to this choice?
Um, when I started my career in law, I had read about environmental law, but I had no any idea that what it is about. And NGT, National Green Tribunal, I had read about it, but I had no experience. But where I am working here, there they had some matters about NGT matters, and then there I got to know about the DPCC, CPCB, CRWC, other various panels where environmental issues are taken up and discussed about, and NGT where it is decided. So there I got to know about the environmental law, what exactly it is about. So when I got to know about this diploma, that point motivated me. Okay, I should learn more about the environmental law, and why to stick myself to Indian law. Let's learn more about the international perspective of every law which you can.
So do you think diploma and courses are important for a law student?
See, I won't say that it is not important, and I would rather not even say that it is very important. It all depends on your choice, what you want to do. If one wants to learn, he has to or she has to learn. And for learning, it's up to you how you want to learn. Some learn by practical experience, some also learn by reading books, and some also learn by doing various courses. So one should be growing every way he or she can. So doing courses, like there are many webinars going on during lockdown. I won't say that all are useful, but you should take the takeaways which are positive, which are learning, which are helpful for you. So this way, do everything whichever you want to, read books, read judgments, and do diplomas, or do anything which you can, which interests you, which attracts you. Like when you read about something, you think that yes, I want to try this, I want to see this. So that you should take up.
So you have also aced MS Excel. Do you think
Yes.
technology is equally important in the field of law?
During lockdown, it's not only about one field, rather every field. Technology is equally important, and it is now clear during lockdown that everything has moved virtually. Even the courts, which no one had ever thought of, that courts would be working virtually, but it has now started to work virtually because no one, social distancing is mandatory, and if one opens a court physically, then there will be a lot of people, and it will be a huge rush that would be impossible to manage people, and social distancing is impossible. If one has visited court, one can clearly understand that in court people are so standing so nearby that social distancing is impossible. So for that one has to move virtually, and for that one has to have the knowledge of the technology, various social sites, or various other methods by which they can learn. And if specifically about MS Excel, when you do many things, like I tell you, there is some court fees which you have to calculate while filing some cases. So the court fees calculation, the formula is applicable on Excel, and that ways Excel is helpful in law as well. And not only about court fees, but there are many other ways where there are some formulas which you require. So that formulas you can apply on Excel. So Excel is anyways helpful in any other field, not only Excel, MS Word, MS Office, and other apps as well. There are use of each and everything which you do. Nothing is useless, everything is useful, just should know how to use it.
So, how important is it for law students and lawyers to develop the skills of legal writing?
It is one of the most important things, I would say. So if I guide any student, like I am very used to talking to students, speaking to them, taking their views on it, and helping them as much as I can. So when I speak to students, they always tell me that, ma'am, I don't want to read judgments, I don't like reading judgments, very long judgments and that. So I always tell them, read once, read it like a story, read twice, then understand the law, read thrice, and you'll get to know something new about it. So multiple reading of one judgment also leads to knowing much about it, and when you write about it, then you'll get to know much more about it. So legal writing is equally important as much as reading is. So legal writing, if one has to file a case nowadays, what people do, they want to file a case, they want to draft, for example, any matrimonial case or any maintenance case. So they will do Google, okay, I want section 125 CRPC draft. They'll do Google and they'll find out a draft and copy paste and change the matters. This is what nowadays many people do. I won't say every, but many people do. That must not be done. One, if one is an advocate, he or she must know that this is a draft of any petition or any application or anything, and he or she should know how to draft it himself. Drafting is what? Drafting is drafting it, carving it yourself, and not copying and pasting it from somewhere else. So legal writing is one of the most important things, I would say.
Uh, how uh, how was your experience working as a trademark attorney?
It was a very different experience, and I had learned about a lot about the IPR field. So I just wanted to explore the field. So I went to Adasta IP, and there I learned about the trademark thing, and trademark, and as well as design. So there I learned a lot about it. It is a very exciting and very new field, but I personally wanted to be more into litigation and dedicated into wakalat, which we personally say. So I would say that I personally was attracted to litigation, so I switched myself. But IPR is also a very good field, I would say.
So currently you are working as a legal associate. Could you shed some light as your role in parents' practice?
So in parents Peters, I was working as a arbitration. Basically, I was working in arbitration because arbitration is where I am most interested, or more my keen subject is arbitration. So there I was handling from arbitration base to the filing of their application, section 34 applications, to their appeals in section 37. So I was more into arbitration and its matters in high court, because arbitration is what attracted me, and so I decided to narrow down my career to restrict myself to arbitration, because one has to choose a line. So that's what I chose, arbitration. But one thing I would say, that if one even has to choose a line, they should first learn the basics of everything, and secondly one should also learn the basic district court work. Some people go directly to high courts and supreme courts, but one should also learn about district courts. Like, if one can sit in a fancy firm and go in big cars and do anything, but if one does not know how to get himself a bail, or how to get himself out of any case of any basic EMI or anything, then he is not a lawyer. So one should at least know the basics of the general laws of negotiable, or other things which are very minute things but very important in a day-to-day life.
So, what tips would you like to give to law students and budding lawyers who are just starting their career?
I would say that they should read as well as write and learn as much as they can. Nowadays, there is so much of competition and so much of internal politics that everyone would try to grab you down and throw you outside, and they would try to take your place. So, be who you are and do learn everything as much as you can, and express yourself as much as you can, because this profession is all about expressing yourself, either verbally or in written way. When you are drafting it, you have to express as much as you can in your draft, but it should be precise as well, but very crisp. It should be very crisp, that when one reads it, he or she understands everything about it. So one should not miss on the sections, on the law, and as well on the facts. So law, facts, and the other thing, everything is equally important on it.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for having such an amazing interaction with us. And it will definitely going to benefit a lot of young minds. And we are delighted to have a time with you, and the law community is grateful for the same.